Hey, what's up everyone? It's Duskmos, and today I've got the Crossover Fuzz from Death by Audio. Let's check it out. Okay, so today we've got a special launch day episode of Signal Colors. And as you can see today, we've got this super cool, really different looking fuzz from Death by Audio that has a mysterious grid on it. And in Rooms style, this big honkin' knob up front. And really what it all adds up to is a hands-on, really kind of interesting take on a fuzz. It splits your signal into a highs and a lows section. And it does that in a couple different ways. So right now I'm going in stereo, coming out stereo. But really I'm going in low and high instead of left and right, and low and high out. And so it splits in this case, the left and the right channel into these two different sort of signal bands where you can sculpt each one individually. So you've got the volume and gain for each of the high and the low section, or the left and the right channel. But because I'm effectively running these out individually into their own channels into the TX6, it's more or less a mono mix. But it allows me to treat each of the left and the right, or the high and the low section, a little bit differently if I wanted to. On that subject of the stereo-ness and the splittingness and all that stuff, you can go stereo to mono. So actually, if you hook in a stereo signal and just have one mono cable out, it basically will push both of the high and the low out of this channel, and the crossover will just kind of do its thing, but it won't split it into the two channels. And almost more interestingly, you can go in mono and then come out splitting into high and low, and come out in a stereo fashion or a dual mono as well. So you get pretty crafty, pretty experimental with this, either having different amounts of fuzz applied to your left and your right channel, or tweaking the highs and the lows independently and treating them as their own channels, as I am today. So I think some of the other controls are pretty self-explanatory. You've got your crossover point and your resonance, and those just control the amount of resonance and where it crosses over between the high and the low. And obviously, as I mentioned, you've got the gain and the volume controls for each of the high and the low, and you can tweak those how you'd like. So you can really maybe pump up the level, but have a low gain on one, or, vice versa, whatever you're looking for. And this grid here is really just a lit up display of where your crossover point is. So I'll actually engage it. You can see, so right there, you can see the different colors, and you can move along these different crossover points. And that's pretty cool. Kind of a unique way to display what's going on. And there's actually an internal dip switch if you want to change those colors from blue and red to like an aqua and a yellow, which is pretty cool. And speaking of colors, there's a secondary colorway of this, which is a white reverb exclusive version, which I'll flash on the screen right now. Oh yeah, and before I forget, there's an expression input on the side that pairs really nicely with this little bonus release today, which is their photo modulator, which is a light sensitive expression jack device that is really cool. We're gonna hook that up and we're gonna try that out too. Now, I haven't had this very long at all. In fact, right now it is Sunday night. I got it last night, just opened it up, and I know this is going to air on Tuesday morning, so definitely getting a real sort of quick look at this. But I want to put a little something out on launch day because that's always exciting to be a part of that. And I'd like to thank Death by Audio for thinking of me and sending this out for me to demo. Really appreciate it. Always fun to check out whatever they've got coming out. Okay, so as always, I like to start with my clean sound. So I made a pattern. So that's what our loop sounds like. Just kind of using some of the easy to grab stock sounds in the XY. But let's go ahead and actually I'm going to dial it down a little bit, and we'll start with just the drum track. So let's hear the Crossover Fuzz in action. Sounds super good. Get the resonance about 50%. 12 o'clock. You can really kind of hear it. Grabbing onto that bass. Yeah, see, that's awesome. And sweep up. So we've got the volume down a little bit here. We can up. This is the highest, so you can hear that sizzle coming in. Nasty stuff going on now. Interestingly, so you can cut. So as you can hear, there goes our lows. You can kind of use it like almost DJ style. Which is really fun. Let's back the gain off a bit. We're going to up the resonance and the volume a bit as well. So even bringing the gain down, you can just use it as sort of like a pushed filter. Got to watch out for your resonances, but or not. Use it to your advantage. If you want some really crazy low end or something. All right, let's bring in some gain again. I have no gain on the highs. Maybe a little bit. Big bass. Now we'll do the opposite. We'll bring the gain down on the lows. You can hear like a little bit of low end cuts through, but sounds really good. All right, let's add some more to our pattern here. Really smashed. That really thinned out radio sort of sound. Bring in the low. Again, cut the low. And now, like I mentioned, I've got the high and the low on their own channels. So I can mute the high, and you get that super filtered. And drop it back in, or vice versa. So kind of doing what I was doing with the volume knobs here, but you could also, if you wanted to, like you could apply effects. To say just one channel. Let's do like let's do chorus. And we'll only do it on anyway, you could always do it on one channel if you want to. Whatever, pretty cool. Or control independent volumes of each. You get the idea. Stuff you could do here, but it's also cool just splitting it out. We'll bypass for clean. And we'll actually plug in the photo modulator now. So, remember I'm in like a lit sort of studio lighting situation, so there's a lot of lights going on here. But, I'll show you. So, I'll get the cutoff here, and let's up the resonance. Pretty cool. Like I said, I do have to aggressively kind of cover it. Again, like a wah sort of thing. So obviously you can see it really just taking place of the knob here. A little light show action. So you can imagine doing this with like a strobe or something. Pretty cool. Obviously, if you have the knob set, then you're gonna get a different sort of, basically like response curve, if that makes sense. Like if you have this set really high, then it can only change so much, you know what I mean? That's not for today's video. And there we go. That is the Crossover Fuzz from Death by Audio. Really crunchy, creative, different, cool, splitting out the different bands between the high and the low and giving you those independent controls for each. Who doesn't love a big old frequency cutoff knob? Or I guess in this case, a crossover knob, but I'd love to see a different approach to, you know, a type of effect that's been around for a minute. Like there's been fuzz for a long time. There's been a filter for a long time, but kind of splitting these up and doing it the way that they did is really creative and cool. And I'm really excited to use this thing on some other pedals and projects and things. I'm really curious to see how it will react with, I don't know, like different lighting situations and what you could send to it. Again, another creative, different thing. So I'm liking what DBA is up to right now. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Definitely check out the link. I've got links to Death by Audio, You can check out this as well as anything else they've got going on these days. So yeah, thanks for checking out the Crossover Fuzz with me today. Appreciate it. See you next time.